Hello everyone, I hope you're excited to walk in the forest with me today. I am going to take you on the path that leads us to the brook, which is the left path here. And I must say I'm really excited to be back today because last time we were here all the trees were dormant, so it's nice to see all these budding leaves and all the greenery. I love these big trees, they have just the most beautiful bark. So as you can see ahead, they're tiny little buds and leaves. Nothing is fully mature, of course. We're just in the beginning stages of spring, but it is definitely nice to see some life in the forest compared to the last video where I had everything was dormant and dry still. It almost looked like fall. And you get to hear the birds. They're so much busier out here. And every so often, I will hear, oh, look at this little bud. It's just so tiny. Every so often, you will hear a rustling. I will pause. These are so soft. And I am careful of what I'm touching along the path and gentle with everything because I don't want to touch poison ivy, of course, but all the higher trees and stuff, they are fairly safe. So many spider webs. I just keep clearing spider webs off. So you'll hear rustling sounds, and I will peek just to make sure that there's no foxes or coyotes kind of wandering around. They live in here, so I'm just a little more cautious. But squirrels and chipmunks make the same noise. I didn't have my camera recording when I first entered the forest, and there was a beautiful cardinal waiting to say hello to me as soon as I had entered past the clearing. I wish I had my camera set up recording already, but it was just sitting there and I missed it. So anyways, just continuing on here, we'll go down over the bridge soon that leads us closer to the water. You will notice that water traveled in certain areas of this forest at one point, and that's why there are bridges, but of course they've dried off. And did you hear that? It's a snake, a garden snake. I don't know if you see it here. Oh, there it goes. It's more scared of me than me scared of it. Okay, we'll continue here. So this little bridge here obviously had water at one point running under it, but it's completely dried up. So we'll head over to the one that has a lot of flowing water. So many spider webs. I guess there hasn't been much traffic through here, so the spiders do their thing. Does anyone know what bird is making that noise? I don't know if it's like a sound alarm that there's a person here. Maple leaf tree with tiny little maple leaves. Teeny tiny little ones. Yeah, sometimes certain birds will kind of alert the others. Now, I'm not near the water quite yet, so it's not as busy with bird traffic. Oh, I love this park. But once I get closer to the water, you'll start to hear a lot of birds. And in the summer, it's so much noisier than it is now. Normally this bird feeder is fully stocked, but I suppose because there's no one running things during COVID closures, there's no seeds here. Oh, But there's one little chipmunk who's hoping there would be some food. Do you see him? He's just sitting there looking at me. Cutie. Oh, so cute. I hope I'm not moving too fast along this trail. I'm trying to walk at a moderate pace here. Look at the little buds. These trees never have a ton of leaves, so it's interesting to see them starting to bud. I can't believe how much of the green foliage there is on the ground covering. There was nothing here just a couple months ago, exactly about 2 months ago. And now you see how much the green has grown, the big leaves have grown, and there is the little yellow flowers. I don't know if you remember, but I shared with you the little bulbs that were kind of sprouting out from the earth. They were kind of like a reddish purple leaf. Those were the foliage that was going to turn into the green that we see here. Just peeling back some of this burnt or dried up cedar. And that's okay, you can do that to your cedars at home as well, just to make them fresh again. I love this wild foliage. I'm not even sure what the name of the plant is, but even when they were sprouting, they were just beautiful. Can you hear the water? We finally arrived here. It's my favorite spot. I should actually bring a book. Just the mosquitoes are not crazy right now, but soon enough there'll be so many mosquitoes. It just doesn't make it very enjoyable to just stand in one spot. You got to keep moving through the forest. So look at this. These trees here, they're so dry, but there's a tiny little bit of life on the branches. How nice and clear the water is. You can see right to the bottom of the little creek here. Now I think it's still too cold. It's warm out, but I think the water is going to be too cold for me to put my hands in today, so I'm not going to do that. But this is one of my favorite places to kind of hang out. But I think what we're going to do today is go a little bit further into the forest where I've never taken you. It gets a little bit, it's different. Something that I normally walk without talking to you guys, but we'll see how it goes. Oh no. So it looks like this must have, the water must have rose, or snow must have pushed this, but the little dock that was attached here to this bar is now sitting on the shore, which makes me sad because I really liked sitting out right, like you felt like you're right in the water area. So anyways, that's what happens. The other bridge actually was reconstructed, thankfully, because they must have come down as well. What happens is just, a big block of snow or ice or something like that can just destroy These are just simple man-made things. They're not serious construction. They're very, handy. A couple like even when you're walking across the bridges, everything kind of wobbles. The armrails wobble. If I bring the kids, well, my son is fine, but my daughter, if she comes, I say, don't touch the side railings, because they just wobble, and it's just kind of there, but it's not, it'll just come undone if you really lean up against it. So the less pressure that there is on the wood, the better in longevity of having that bridge there, because we want to cross over, of course. All right, so this is the muddy trail here. I'm going to do some balancing act across these beams. Don't mind my footage. Hopefully I can still film for you guys as I walk through here, and I don't fall over and, get all muddy. Oh, I love this. This is a little baby pine tree. It looks like a eastern pine. I love that it's just growing along the little path. Must have had a seed planted there, something by a bird. Bird droppings. Well, here comes a clearing, which I'm not going to head into. It looks like a cornfield or a crop field of some sort at one point, as you can see far off into the distance. This is sometimes where you will find deer just grazing about. Nothing going on here today. this part of the forest is always a little bit spooky to me, and I'm not sure if it's because the open crop field right now is right up at the top there, knowing that, you know, the larger animals kind of crisscross through here. Also a lot of, as you can see, the vegetation is quite dry. There isn't a lot of movement, and if you do hear a little bit of movement, you get spooked, and it could be just simply a squirrel or a chipmunk crossing over some dry leaves. But we'll continue heading through here, and then it meets up again along the creek. So as you can see, like, a lot of this is dried out vegetation, and then there's a lot of knocked over trees as we kind of start heading down this path here. You know, there's a few trees here trying to make it through, but I think it's so sheltered. There's not a lot of sunshine and not a lot of water, and so the vegetation is very different. So I moved through here quite quickly. I'm going a little slower today because I am filming and don't want to make you guys super dizzy, but we'll head closer to the water again, and that's where I'm more comfortable. So you see a lot of fallen trees all in here. Some of them they are always left behind, I guess, because this is a natural conservation type land. So you'll have salamanders and chipmunks and little things making homes out of the logs. So it's important to leave the trees to decay on their own for habitat. So this path is quite pretty because the foliage, we're coming up closer to the creek line again, and so there's a lot of green foliage here that I absolutely love. Now, about 10 years ago, I will say that the water kind of did come up a little bit further up this way, if I recall correctly, but it no longer travels any further than this little bank here. So, and I'm not sure if it's due to the beavers constantly building dams up where the water source kind of does come off of the main waterway, and you can see here that some trees have fallen here, but this is not a dam. But I will go closer to where they like to build their dams. It's interesting because about, I'd say 10 years ago, I'd seen one beaver dam, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's the coolest, and I could see him or her working away at the beaver dam, and now there's a ton of them. So anyways, I'll head over there to share with you guys what's going on by the water source to this beautiful creek. I just absolutely love coming down here. As you guys can tell, it's just a happy place. Well, for me at least. I think it just brings me back to my childhood because growing up I lived along a conservation creek as well and loved exploring, riding my bike through the trails. And it wasn't pavement or anything, it was just like this, and we would go off, a few of us, and we'd just go and hang out and sit on the logs. So I just find that we're missing that more these days. Like, my kids have no interest in coming down here with me, and I just love coming here. And I asked them, would you like to look at this? This is so beautiful when you look up. How beautiful is that? The light greens and the dark greens. So I asked them to come down, and nobody's interested in coming here with me, so off I go by myself. And you know what, it's actually better for me because I can go a little further and I don't have to hear any complaints. I put you can probably hear my backpacks on, I have my water, and I just come and I listen and I enjoy my quiet time alone. And typically it takes me about, I don't know, maybe an hour and 15 minutes to kind of just hike around here, back and forth. So it gives you a little bit of quiet time. And see, like, these just been cut down, or I'm not sure, but a lot of them have fallen on naturally. The thing I believe is some of them might be cut down just to prevent anyone from getting hurt if it's about to fall. But mostly it's just everything kind of happens naturally in here, right? I just love coming down here. The only thing is I don't come sometimes as far depending what time of year, because I just don't want to run into any situation. But I probably should get some sort of spray. I don't know if that's legal. Okay, so here we're coming close to the water source. Do you hear it? It's kind of got like a bit of a dam going on up here. I'll walk closer to it and we'll get a good view. Oh, look at that. Somebody's been leaving cashews, but they don't look like any of the animals are coming up here to eat them. Interesting. You'd think the chipmunks and the squirrels would have already hoarded those away. And I didn't run across anyone on the path, so I'm not sure when they... Look at this. There are tons of them here. Maybe the little ones don't like coming up along this. No, I don't think I'm going to follow this path out. I'm going to go back because I really want to go back towards the brook again. That's my favorite part. That will take me away from the brook. So let's walk back over. This bridge is so rickety. See the beaver dams down below? I'm not sure if you kind of saw that when I was filming, but there's a ton of beaver dams. So over the years, they just kind of... I witnessed one building one year, never seen them again, but I'm not sure when they use them. I should Google a little bit more about beavers and find out exactly when they live in their dam and when they use it. But yeah, it seems to have pushed the water a bit away from one area. And water is powerful, but these dams are super strong as well, so there's no messing around with a beaver's dam. Pretty soft leaves. They're just so silky. I don't know if anyone else finds it fun, but when you get to the end of a path and there's an option to go left or right, and then you get to make that choice of which path you want to take in the forest, I love that. I love when there's options in the forest of where people have kind of walked or created trails. So here we are. You can either go right or you go left. I'm going to go left. Which path would you have taken? Would you have gone left or right? I've done this a couple times now. Do you hear that? There are people. So I'm gonna turn my camera off here to get past them because I think they were up on the bridge. It's funny because I like walking this path towards the brook, but then walking it back kind of makes me sad. Back at the chipmunk post. It's supposed to be the bird feeder, but I swear the chipmunks take over that bird feeder. Oh, and talking about chipmunks, look. Oh, there's a blue jay in the... Darn, I missed filming it, but there was a blue jay just in there. Do you see it? Oh, look at this brave little fellow. Look at this little brave fellow. He's coming to say hi. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. I don't think I've ever had a chipmunk that close to me before. He's super brave. Here we go again. Left or right? I'm in a left mood today. Well, I think that I'm going to head back out to the clearing and head home. Hope you guys enjoyed hiking with me through the forest today. I did take you guys a little bit further in, and hopefully that was relaxing for you as well. hearing me walk through the forest. Until next time, everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for joining me today. Bye for now.